Bobbie con Bud por su vida está y muchas gracias para vivir. It's not work, it's fun. No, es no trabajo, es feliz. Y Bobbie con Bud por su vida. And as well as in inglés, Bobbie Buds for Life. So, hi folks, hola Rebecca Bay, Alejandro Julian y familia. Y gracias para vivir. Thank you so much for watching us. It is our pleasure once again to be coming into your home. We have surpassed the holidays, they're gone, for another year, okay? So we got all through that. We've had a lot of stuff going on regarding the studio. We had a lull, sort of, just before the holiday season and through the holiday season, and now we're back, okay, with different episodes, as you can see. Master Gardener had a brand new one last week. I was a little under the weather, so now I'm doing mine this week to go along with the one last week, right after hers. Okay, so once again, we say thanks, a blanket thank you to everybody, every single one of our sponsors. We have many. I'm not going to name them all. You know who you are. At any rate, just thanks so much for sponsoring us. For once again, one more time, I'm going to say it, letting us come into your homes. All right, it is our pleasure to talk with you about the things that we like to make issues of regarding natural, holistic health and beauty aid tips. This is myself, my program, that's what I focus on, as well as Master Gardener, of course, her gardening, and that goes into all realms of gardening regarding the fact that you do things yourself, you plant your own garden, you dig, you water, you let it get light, etc. Everything that it needs, which I don't know hardly anything about. My sister got our father's gifts regarding gardening. So at any rate, so Master Gardener, and then also the nutrition that you get from growing your own food, and that carries over into my segment as well, because I talk about the natural things, not only with food that we can eat, but also what it does in our bodies and the natural ways that we can help fight ailments within ourselves, because we all have them. We're human, that's life, all right? And it is cold and quote unquote cold and flu season. However, you just have to deal with it. Living in north central Wisconsin, it's kind of a given that every once in a while you may get a little sniffle here and there. All right, so that's part of what I'm going to be referring to. But also I'd like to say and give another shout out to our wonderful veterans, for whom without their toiling and going before us, we would not be here. Because as you can see on the blanket, which I had no idea these words were even there when I first bought it, several years ago now, freedom is not free. So we once again say thanks to the veterans that have given us this opportunity in life. Because without people going ahead of us and going before us, we don't have, sometimes we can't fight ourselves. You have to have someone else fight for you. And that's what the veterans have done for us folks. We had such a wonderful, very, very busy, very big push last summer, spring and summer, for the veterans. We did many meet and greets, and we have talked all about that last summer, spring and summer, as well as going into the fall and winter months. And once again, we just want to say thank you to those sponsors who were nice enough. We were invited places to do these meet and greets for the veterans, as well as we asked, and they let us have a playground, so to speak, for the meet and greets that we do, to give the gift gas cards to the veterans, along with the gift food coupons. And these folks have been wonderful from sponsoring us and giving us the food coupons from the beginning of us doing this, which is 5 years actually, for the veterans, giving gift gas cards and giving the food coupon cards along with them. And the sponsors, number one sponsor for the Veterans Push, the meet and greet, County Market. Okay, once again, thank you, Mary Geike, her staff all the way on down the line, everybody there, as well as the folks at actually Pick and Save. They are not one of our sponsors, have not been one of our sponsors. County Market has been one of our sponsors from the very beginning of the inception of FRASER Family Foundation, and for the veterans especially. However, Pick and Save is not one of our usual sponsors. However, we did quite a few meet and greets in front of Pick and Save as well last summer, spring and summer, and we can't say thanks to those folks enough. And also we did a few at Triggs, we did a few at Wagner, Shell. Those are the main ones oh goodness, Walmart, the folks at Walmart. Thank you so much, we so appreciate it. We got such an influx of folks and all kinds of walks of life, and told us all about veteran situations. And God rest his soul, our father was a veteran. However, he's no longer with us, as I said. However, we have a brother who is now a veteran. The other one tried to get in, and for health different reasons they would not let him in. My husband tried to get in, but at that time they had a rule where if you were the only boy in a family, they would not take you, and he was. The father had died when they were very young, and all sisters, 4 sisters, and they would not take him. He tried twice, and they wouldn't take him. At any rate, so my brother-in-law, my sister's husband, is a veteran. So at any rate, it runs all 4 families. My point being, we are not veterans. Master Gardner is not a veteran, neither am I. Okay. So this is just something that's near and dear to our heart. This was brought on, and the idea of it was given to us by another gentleman who is no longer with us, God rest his soul. It was his idea to do something for the veterans in the way that we really felt close to because of our father being a Marine veteran. And we said, well, what do we do? And he said, because we're not veterans. And he said, and then we all put our heads together, we came up with this idea of gift cards, gas gift cards, and then we added the food coupon cards. So it's a very, very big part. We've been honored by the VA, the Veterans Administration, and Great Lakes. I'm sorry, I may have said that wrong. I beg your pardon if I did. But we got a letter of commendation from the VA itself, and we've had that for 4 or 5 years. As a matter of fact, someone took our letter. We used to put it on our table during the meet and greets, and someone eventually took it. We have a copy. We don't know who you are. At any rate, but we have just received all kinds of accolades. Different groups that do things for the veterans, coffee collectors, etc., that do things for the veterans different times during the week. We've spoken there, been honored by a lot of folks, and it's just our pleasure. We also want to say major thanks to the Bruce Olbrandt's Family Foundation, who has done much to help us in many different ways. And they have their own foundation, and then they, through our church, St. Paul's United Church of Christ, is how we met this particular gentleman, Bruce Olbrandt, if you don't mind my saying so, Bruce. And just everything has blossomed and boomed from there, and we are going forward in a lot of other areas other than veterans. However, at this point, it's just one of the main things that's very, very near and dear to myself and Master Gardner's heart. We just wanted to once again say thanks, and a special hello to Lois and Charles. And you know who you are, veterans that we met at McDonald's last summer. Okay, folks, that takes up a little bit of time. There are many more sponsors. However, we have a wonderful news a gentleman who does our spokesperson, speaking for us, does our announcements, etc. And he will be naming all of the sponsors because we don't want to leave anybody out. So these are the main ones that we've dealt with regarding the veterans, and I just want to give them a wonderful shout out. And associated banks as well as U.S. banks, and they're involved in sponsoring us in a different way regarding that as well. Okay, so just want to say thanks again, and folks, there's a lot of times during this fall, but even summer as well as winter, that we deal with irritations on our skin. Okay, summertime is one thing. That spring and summer, that's wonderful, beautiful time of year. All right, but you also got to watch out for not only becoming sunburned, if you are, regarding sunscreen and just things that you can do before when you go out. Of course, the sunscreen, as I said. Also, different masks, etc., that you can put on your skin after the sun burn. All right, if you get it. However, that's a different subject. And what I'm going to talk about now is some folks say, well, gee, how do you handle dry skin in the winter? How do you keep your skin soft, etc., supple, whatever you want to call it? And there's a few ways, and there's what I call and have referred to many, many times in my own segments as doubles, okay? They're things that we use in not only our, that are in the kitchens, as well as our bathrooms, some of them. And you can find them in grocery stores, drugstores, specialty stores, even dollar stores, as well as dollar sections of grocery stores, okay? And these are things that you can use in your skin that are wonderful for our skin and make you, being in and out of doors, a lot of shoveling, whatever you might do. If you snow ski, if you ice skate, snowboard, whatever. Even if sometimes you go out and it's very, very cold, as we're on really chilly weather once again here in central Wisconsin, north central Wisconsin. Just being out there in the elements sometimes can just boom hit you and you come in, your face is bright red and it's windburn or it's even maybe a little bit of sunburn, but you've got to deal with it. It's dry skin, it's irritating, etc. Redness, sometimes from the boots that we wear, the heels on our skin, the skin on our heels, as well as your hands, as well as your face, okay? Because those are the things that, the face, of course, gets, and sometimes your hands get, they're prone to in the elements. So there's special things you can do, okay? One of the main things that you can do a lot of for skin regarding whatever season of the year it is number one is water. Our intake of water is extremely important. Our bodies, folks, are like 85% water. Yes, from the inside, and hopefully we can make it through our life, because the minute we're born, really, we're in the elements, and the older you get, you're still in the elements, and your body still loses its moisture, okay? So starting with drinking water and or drinking aloe vera tea, which we have talked about for years now, Master Gardener and myself. And of course that comes from the aloe vera leaves of the aloe vera plant, all right? You can buy a lot of smaller aloe vera plants. Lots of places they sell them. Sometimes in grocery stores have a plant section, or gosh, you can buy them. They have plant sections. Home Depot, Menards, just lots and lots of places that they sell little plants. And regarding the size, folks say, well, gee, I don't have. How are you gonna, I don't have space for a bigger plant in my home, and where are you going to put it, and where is it going to be room, etc. That's why I'm saying they do have smaller plants of aloe vera as well, of course. Sometimes they have sales on them. Sometimes you'll walk into a store, just for instance, not one of our sponsors, but Walgreens. All right, sometimes you walk in the front door and they're on the shelves. They have plants for sale. They have tiny ones, and they're smaller price, of course. So try it out if you want. If you're interested in making aloe vera tea for yourself, we've talked about this many, many times. But it just is a phenomenal plant. It does phenomenal things for our bodies from the inside, and it shows on the outside, okay? So anyway, you can get an aloe vera plant. If you look, they're there, okay? I named a few places again. Home Depot, however, and Menards are not one of our sponsors as well. I just want to clarify that, as well as Walgreens. However, all you do, once again, folks, is you take one of the leaves off the plant, and you could start out with an inch or so of the leaf. That's fine. And cut it, of course. And when you look at the leaf, there'll be little, they kind of look like spikes or thorns, but they're not called that. I learned what they're called are barbs, okay? And they are little, kind of like thorns, but not really thorns, because they're not real sticky. Even if you accidentally swallowed them and didn't take them off, cut them off the plant before you boiled it to make your tea, it might not hurt you, but I wouldn't suggest doing it, okay? So, at any rate, get some scissors after you cut the leaf off. Try it. Depending on how much tea you want to make yourself, the size of your pan, like small, medium, or large saucepan of water to make the tea, try maybe an inch of the leaf, okay? Cut it off, cut the barbs off around the outside of the leaf, if, it's probably a good idea, I suggest that. And wash it off. I used to wash them myself with soap and water, warm water, but I found out that does take some of the minerals away from it and nutrients if I use soap. So now I just really rub them, not real hard, but just rub them and get the, the outside from the elements off of the leaf. Okay, so do it with warm water, gently, and get yourself the saucepan of water. If you so desire a little bit of water to make a little bit of tea, just because you haven't tried it before, fine. Use a smaller pan. Then if you don't, if you want to make more, use the medium or the large. We really use a really large one in our house. However, you can measure, and actually folks say, well, that little bit of leaf is not going to do any good making tea. Yes, it does. You would really be surprised. So, but it's up to you. So, start out with an inch or start out with a little bit more of an inch of the leaf. Either put the pan of water on and boil it before you put the leaf in, or put the leaf in right away, turn it on and let it boil. Let it boil for a good at least 15-20 minutes, on up to maybe half hour or so if you want. Then take the leaves out. You can use the leaves quite a few times. Don't throw them out. Just have to use them once because they're really usable for a long time. But it's up to you how long you want to do that. Also, there are different colors of green aloe vera plants. And why I'm saying this is some of them have a burgundy tinge to them. Now, we found out over the years doing this that the burgundy tinged plants are kind of bitter. All right, there is a little bit of a bitter taste to them. So we didn't do it for a while. We would go with the greener or the dark greener, okay, plants, the color. But then we found out, just by accident, because somebody tried it with the burgundy tinge one, and even though it's a little bitter, but when you boil it, the bitterness is really basically gone. All right, so it just tastes like extremely clean, pure water when it's done. It will get a little bit of an amber color to the water, then you know that it's done. All right, pretty much, basically that's kind of a telltale sign. All right, because it doesn't really change colors, is what I'm saying. So just look for it to be a little bit amber. Just because the leaves are a little bit burgundy, it's not burgundy water. All right, it doesn't come out that way. So at any rate, and also, we found out also, if you use the burgundy tinge plant, which is great, if you don't desire to, don't do it, it's up to you, totally, we only suggest here on our shows, all right? But if you use the burgundy tinge plant to make the tea, then it really works. It seems to work a little bit faster than the regular. So, and anyway, the greener, I should say. So, all right, so you got your water boiling, do it in between 15 and 20 minutes on up. It's up to you how long you do it. Don't let the leaf disintegrate. Don't do it that long. You don't need to. So, and anyway, and just you can drink it hot or cold. And again, you can drink it with lemon wedge, an orange wedge, lime, whatever it is, okay? Whatever you so desire, that's what you can do, all right? So, that's one of the main things. And the aloe vera tea not only cleans out all of the toxins in our bodies, all right, but it is also, it gives you energy, okay? And it also, makes you sleep better, if you need that. I personally don't really need that, but it helps. Some folks say, yeah, gosh, I took it before I went to bed, drank like tea, just regular tea before I went to bed, help me sleep. So it does. So it's just great for all of those things. And it just cleans everything out of your bodies, folks. And it just starts from your head all the way down. At any rate, so that's the best way we can explain it. So that's one of the main things you can do for your health overall, but also do that along with, as I was saying, cold and getting back to cold and flu season. A lot of folks get the flu shots. If that's what you do, you're on a doctor's regime, great, do it. It's completely up to you. Again, all we do on these shows, folks, are suggest. We hear about things, we do research or not, we try them or not, and then we report about them to you. And the choice is always yours. It's completely up to you. Anyway, so you can do that along with, if you get sinuses, I'm one of the most prone to sinus infections, etc. people that you want to meet. They're not terrible anymore. They used to be worse when I was younger, but over the years, I've really, gotten they just come to a minimum, okay? Not completely to a halt, but I do have to deal with sinus problems. I do have some allergies, some food allergies, basically. And I have to be able to determine whether it's a sinus problem and allergies, or is it cold? That's me. So there's other things you could do for colds and sinus allergy problems as well. One of the main things you could do, folks, is take yourself just a regular tablespoon in your kitchen, just out of your, your forks, knives, forks, spoon. Get yourself a tablespoon. Try a teaspoon if you haven't done this before. Put natural honey in it, just any kind of honey. Put it in the teaspoon first, okay? Fill it up, the teaspoon or tablespoon up. Then take either from a natural lemon. You can use, folks say, well, can I use real lemon? Yeah, you can, okay, but it's not quite as good as, probably as the fresh lemon, but that's up to you again, the choice is up to you. And just take that lemon juice, whatever it might be, the lemon or the lemon constitute or whatever it is, and pour it right in the middle of that teaspoon or tablespoon of honey, okay? Another thing that you can do for, pardon me, is for the colds, allergies, flu, etc. The flu, but I'm basically talking about colds, allergies, and sinus problems. Anyway, so you can take any cup of any kind of hot drink. I've alluded to this so many times. Folks ask about it, so I'm saying it again. So just a regular coffee cup, any kind of coffee cup. You could start with, when I first learned about this particular drink, I learned about having it with herbal teas. Well, that's fine. If that's what you want to do, use herbal. If you want to use regular black tea, green tea, white tea, whatever it might be, peppermint, chamomile, it's up to you, okay? So a glass of hot drink or coffee. Some folks just drink it with put it with coffee myself many, many times. It works just the same. So anyway, take a glass of a hot drink, not a glass, a cup, and just your regular drink first, then add cinnamon to it. And can we get a shot of this, cameraman? Just regular ground cinnamon, folks. That's all. And you can get this at the dollar section of any grocery store. You can get it in the spice section, specialty store, whatever. You can get not only ground cinnamon, but you can also get cinnamon sticks. Okay. So, put cinnamon in your drink, as well as ginger, fresh, raw ginger. Yes, I said ginger. Ginger is a natural antibiotic. It's also a natural antihistamine, and it has tons of other properties, but those are the two main ones that I know about, and particularly regarding this particular suggestion that we're making to help you guys with, colds, allergies, sinus problems. All right, so you take the hot drink. You got your hot drink. You got your cinnamon in it. You got your raw ginger. And what you would do, folks, is just get it from the produce department, anywhere you have fresh fruits and vegetables. I think most grocery stores sell ginger. I'm not aware of any that don't. Then you have your specialty stores. But at any rate, they'll be there, or ask for it. If you don't see it in the produce department at the grocery store, ask them. It's okay, just ask. And what you do, it can be a little pricey. However, it you don't need much really. So even if you get like a piece, say like that, or a little bigger than that, just one big piece, not gonna cost you very much. Maybe up towards $1. I don't know. It goes per pound. Or sometimes they'll put a whole bunch in one bag, and that's a special price. So it just depends. You gotta look. So just look and ask if you don't see it. Okay, so you take it home, the ginger, and wash it off. Like they say, scrub it a little bit with a little vegetable brush or whatever. And then cut the dings off. Like a potato with eyes, and they're a little mushy, they're a little dark, a little, brownish, whatever, eyes on potatoes. Then you just cut them off, But I would suggest leave the peeling on, because like they always say, most of, or maybe all of, the minerals and nutrients, not all of, but most of the minerals and nutrients are in the peeling as well. So that's what I do. Some folks just scrape the whole thing, scrape all the peelings off. And that's fine. It's up to you. If that's what you want to do it. It's okay. So anyway, peel that off. Those scrape those off. but also, then just depending on how much you want to put in the drink, again, that's up to you. You could use a grater, like for carrots, a vegetable peeler, etc., regarding the size that you want. Personally, I just cut chunks off. And I just stick them in my drink. That's all. And so anyway, so you've got your drink, you've got your cinnamon in it, you've got your fresh ginger. Some folks put honey in it, and that's great. Some folks put lemon in it in addition, maybe lime, maybe again, orange slice or orange, peel. And also, regarding the nutrients and minerals being in the peelings, you've heard of such a thing as orange or whatever, or lemon or whatever, zest, okay? For years I didn't know what that meant. I'm really blessed. My husband does all the cooking for us, etc. I do a little when I want to, but mainly he just loves to cook, so he does it, okay? And I did not really know, he uses lemon and orange and lime zest occasionally, all right? Not a whole lot, like a lot of folks do. But I watched one time, and then we watch a lot of the cooking shows on television. So, you just peel it. All you do is take a grater, and you wash your lemon, lime, orange, whatever it is, and wash it first, and then you use the grater, and you put it, in the food, okay? And they say that, and that gives it like the zestiness of the flavor of that particular fruit, right? That's what the zest comes from. But also, they say that, and it's really, really good too, regarding if you get stuffed up ears along with your cold, your sinus, allergy, whatever. They say that the use of the lemon, for the lemon, lime, orange zest, or whatever. Okay, also, if you take a lemon slice, or orange or lime slice, eat the whole thing, yeah, but make it a softer peeling, okay, a softer outer, part. I don't know what they call it, the pulp? No, that's not the pulp, I'm sorry, the meat or whatever. At any rate, I'm sorry, excuse me for my lack of knowledge on those terms. At any rate, so you just cut yourself a lemon slice and eat the whole thing, all right, because it's not only great for, of course, I'm sure you know, fantastic for vitamin C for the colds, allergies, sinus problems, but also just from the fruit of the lemon or the meat or whatever. But also, it's in not only the peeling, the outside of the fruit, but it's also the membrane of the fruit, okay? That is so good, and it will help actually aid in, but you gotta be consistent. It will aid in helping your ears, become unplugged eventually, but you do have to do it, okay? So folks, we've got a lot of things. We also, of course, use vitamin C, from tomato juice, from your drinks, like your orange juice, your grapefruit juice, or your grapefruit. But you have to be careful with taking grapefruit with some, and they will even report it on the labels of the medicines. With some medicines, you got to be careful in taking grapefruit with it. Grapefruit or grapefruit juice, all right? But you must check your labels, really good for that, okay? So, gosh, there's just so many things, folks, that we could talk about it, but we are running out of time now. So it is once again our pleasure to be able to come into your homes. Thank you so much. We will see you next time, and remember always to check for those rainbows. Siempre checar para los hilos en el cielo, okay? Y gracias, y hasta conseguir semana. Y adiós, Roberto Betty, por Alejandro Julián y familia. Y gracias. Adiós.